Happy Monday. Okay, so since we're all back from the cruise and all of the things, I know we had kind of a plan of what we were going to do in November, and it's already the second Monday in November. So better late than never, and not really late, but we really want to make sure that we are setting ourselves up with correct thought processes and habits, I guess, especially to just practice over the next few weeks and like utilize this group specifically in our respective chats that we're in. We're a part of a larger, wonderful team, but when it comes to accountability and us actually doing the things daily, weekly, and reaching your goals monthly and quarterly, and seeing the growth that you want to see, we really do have to like be committed to each other, to these small group settings, and saying, I'm not just here to learn. I'm not just here because like I can check off my, well, I did show up on Monday night. And I'm saying this for myself too. Sometimes it's like, well, I was at the team call, but that's not really going to affect our paycheck if we're not accountable to one another and helping each other do the activity to grow our businesses. And so some of the things we're going to begin really focusing more on are the things that are in the IPA sheets, right? So we always say it's your choice, whichever one of those IPA sheets that are like daily sheets that make sense most to you, those like more nitty gritty things, that's great. But what we are going to start doing from here on out as practice for like definitely starting in January, going to be like kind of a non-negotiable thing for us, especially for these calls and bringing new people in. We want to make sure that what we're doing is duplicatable, not just like, oh, I got a good pep talk, or, oh, I learned something, or, oh, yeah, that was great. Kind of have heard that before, though I kind of already knew that. But like, if you have a new person who went silver and they got on this call, that they would know what they should be doing to continue to grow their teams with us. And so I'm going to share my screen really quick just so we can make sure that you are seeing the right things. So let me share my Google Chrome, and then I'll turn it over to Kim in a second. Firstly, before we get into any of that, we're going to go over to the files. And we are going to go to the weekly accountability sheet. It's the third one down, and we will probably end up pinning this to the top. Team Iron uses this as well every week. We're going to start using this weekly. And oh, my PDF went down there, and it's probably not even going to show you because I clicked that. Hold on, new share, desktop. There we go. But what this will do is give us a litmus of what have I done this week, what's working for me, what's not working for me. And it's never a shame thing. I know, like, for sure on my journey to Emerald, I was in IPA accountability chats and you got kicked out if you didn't do it, right? Like, it was real deal stuff. And we were, so it was fun. We're earning prizes, but it was like, if you weren't committed, like, you get kicked out. This is more, we need to know where the responsibility lies. And I told Kim even earlier today too, it's like, I think it's helpful to have something like this where we can say, if I'm not where I want to be, if my goals are not being met, if I'm not in conversations, I can look at this every week and say, that's on me, or where can I increase based on these things? And this gives us a jumping off point for group coaching in these calls. It also gives us a jumping off point for training topics. If everyone's kind of feeling the same thing, or if someone has a question, or someone's like, I've been doing these things, what can we do? Like, that helps us to actually train on the things that are beneficial and helpful to you actually growing your paycheck, rather than just like fluffy, superfluous information, because all of the extras are great. And we need to talk about mindset. We need to talk about all of those other things. But if we're not doing the activity, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you have a better mindset about the activity if you're never actually going to do it. Again, talking to myself as well. I did more IPA last month and I signed 8 people. Like, it does matter, the activity and the consistency and showing up. And so we want to make sure we're supporting each other and actually growing our team and actually growing your paycheck and helping you meet your goals. And I think this is going to be huge. So what this is going to look like is that doesn't mean this is the only sheet that you have to use, or that you have to fill this out and not have one of the other modes of like daily IPA. You've got the high five, the A to Z, you've got any of the daily IPA sheets that will help you to do the things. But by the end of the week, so by Sunday night, we're going to be popping these into our respective chat threads, right? So for me, that's the Growing Gold chat thread. Kim's team has their own chat thread for right now. And we're going to be intentional about making sure that it's not a thing to cause any type of shame. It's to say, if I'm committed to wanting to grow my business, I need to become committed to the practice of actually doing the things to grow my business. And then when we're doing that together, we can encourage each other, reminding each other as we're going into the weekend, make sure you're filling out your sheet. And so on Mondays, when we get on these calls, we can say, way to go, and list everyone who shared their sheets. Maybe we'll do like a Starbucks gift card giveaway for, all the people that, gave their sheets in, or something like that. Get really into the fun stuff. I think next year we can look at, if you do 4 in a row, we'll do like some fun swag or fun prizes or things like that. But again, if someone comes into this as a new silver or wanting to work the business, they know, oh, okay, I need to be doing all of this every week in order to grow my team, and everyone else is doing this too. That makes sense. And the how and all of the like extras make sense when it comes into fitting that into this type of a sheet. So we will start doing this week. So this will be week 1, getting into it. Hopefully you're already doing a lot of these things. But I think it, again, is always just helpful to get it on paper to know, where can I increase? What have I been skipping over? And where do I need to develop my skills with all of these things, right? Okay, so I'm going to pop back over to my Chrome, because one of those things else that we were going to talk about was just the calendar real quick. And then I'm going to pass it over to Kim to talk about some of the fun pipeline stuff. So for our calendar, we are in the middle of our Sip, Step, and Shake challenge. And I feel like that's going really well. We've got some good participation in that. Just continue to keep plugging in yourselves, and remember to tag the people that were interested. Even if they've not done it the whole time, it's just a great touch point to be able to remind them, hey, don't forget about this page, and that we, do fun things, and it's a good, easy checkup on them. This Thursday night is not going to be a message event, which I know is what it says right here. It's actually going to be, if you go back to discussion, the Why Plexus, Why Now. Josie's team is going to run this for us. They are killing it with the events this month, and we're super thankful that they're letting us jump into these. And so this is going to be a product-oriented Facebook group event. And so the great thing about this is we know how to utilize this, right? She's got some awesome verbiage down here that you can use for that. And also we want to be making sure this week we're sharing about that. So there was some story slides shared into the threads today. So if you need those, we can go find those. Start talking to the people that you have, needing to follow up with. Make your list of that. Even people, that you might want to talk to about referring someone. This is a great thing for people to invite people to if they're trying to earn some referral bonuses, or even just having that conversation of, have you thought about, earning some referral cash before Christmas comes? We're doing a fun product event where there'll be some giveaways and some great information. I always like to say, it's a really non-threatening, easy ask for people that you think might enjoy these products or have been asking you questions about what you're doing. And you never know, you might get some people that would invite a few people, or might be able to go silver from this event as well. So this is what's coming up. We want to keep our eyes peeled because Black Friday is coming soon, and our Black Friday stuff is going to push us into what we're going to be doing in December. We are going to have an optional fun group away from our group that we're going to plug into. Most of our teams are going to be plugging into a larger event that is going to be based on the Black Cherry Slim and Balance. And so taking some of the posting and sharing a little bit further. Now this of course is not going to be all of your customers. This is of course not going to be all of your signups. that's, even last month, I still signed up multiple people with the triplex, or I signed someone up with Slim and Ease. I didn't just focus on, the sip, step and shake, stuff just because that was a challenge. However, I think it's really great to be having those conversations with current or customers that might have fallen off the wagon, as well as sharing about an event like this coming up. And we'll be giving more verbiage for that down the road. But just for balance over the holidays, right? We're talking about glucose regulation in a holiday season where we are off the charts with sweets and all that kind of stuff. We're not going to be over promising weight loss. Even when we talked about the shot and stuff like that, that's not what that conversation is about. And that's not what that's for. That can be really detrimental to recruiting and retention when we're over promising something that we don't know that's going to happen for everyone's body. So the focus of this is more kind of like, stay balanced over the holidays. Don't gain 15 pounds because of all of the sweets and, be a hormonal crazy wreck because your hormones are off the charts. Right. So that's what that's going to be, just for your future radar. One of the things Kim and I are learning in our recruiting course, that some of the other girls are in as well, is really methodically using the calendar to market. So if we have events and we have things going on, using the week before and the week after strategically in your messaging, in your posting. So it's not just kind of willy-nilly product posts and stuff like that, but that it's very directed to saying, I'm inviting people to this specific event. So I'm going to, talk about the things surrounding this specific event. And then after the event, I'm going to talk about maybe the special or why people should have signed up for that, specific thing. And so we're going to work better at that to make things make sense and to be continuing to give good verbiage. And with our IPA stuff, okay, here's what we should be focusing on our messages this week, that kind of stuff, which we do to an extent now. We just want you to be aware there should be some intentionality rather than just showing up the night of the thing and the day of, like, what are we doing leading up to it and how are we using it to close, letting that be a more directed thing. So I think that's it for me. I'm going to pass it over to Kim, and I'm going to stop my share so she can share what she needs to share, and we'll get going on some of our fun pipeline training.
Yes. I'm excited to share this with you guys tonight. This is something that we've been learning about in our recruitment course that we've been doing. And really for us, this was something that was kind of a light bulb because we have talked about in the past how we should be filling our funnel. We talk about our potential client funnel and how they come, we consider them falling out of the bottom of the funnel when they become our customer. And really, we were introduced to this new way of thinking about that whole process and recognizing that really that's just the beginning of the process. And really the picture we want to paint in our mind is more of a pipeline where they go into the pipeline and then they continue along through the tunnel, so to speak. This was something that was just new for us, but I think it will be helpful for all of us to start thinking more this way. And so I want to share a little bit with you guys about that tonight. And I am going to start with just sharing first. I want to do this first. This is really a lot about using social media and about growing your network. Like, this kind of encompasses a lot of different areas of what we would consider IPA. And so really want to think about what is our primary social media platform, right? And we want to make sure we just have an idea of where do we do the most engagement and really cater what we're doing to that audience, like who is our audience. And so I think that is just a really good thing to keep in mind. I know for me, Facebook is still my main platform. I'm starting to do a little bit more with Instagram, but that's not really where I am growing followers, or where I'm adding friends, or where I'm getting the most engagement with things. So I would still consider Facebook my main platform. And I want you guys to just kind of get in your mind too, where maybe yours is. But the idea is that when you post or when you share or when you try to interact with people, have that platform in mind and go there rather than those other places. So anyway, as we think about this is going to just help you be more effective in the process of connecting with new people, and then hopefully creating more of a relationship with them and eventually converting them into customers. So I am going to start. I want you to, I'm going to screen share here real quick so you can see. I want to show you what this pipeline looks like, and I'll kind of explain each section just briefly, and then we'll probably talk about this pipeline a little bit more throughout the month on our other calls. So we're not going to talk about like all the things to do to help engage these different areas, but I do want to just give you a little brief overview of these different categories tonight. And just talk about why I think this pipeline is kind of better than what we've been doing, really. So I am going to just share my screen here a minute, and we'll show you what this pipeline looks like. So we have the first area of our pipeline is our cold market. So these are the people that really we don't know that well. They are people we find through social media content. Maybe they're, there's those list of friends that you're given that are recommended to you. So they maybe you're connected through someone else or a group. And so anyway, they're people that you are just getting to know, and you don't know them well. And they're going to decide whether or not, based on your content, if there's someone you want to, if you're on Facebook, maybe you want to be friends with, or if you're on Instagram, maybe if they're people that they want to interact with your content, they're going to be deciding if they want to follow you. So they're going to be kind of evaluating what your page looks like, what value you bring, what you're sharing, and just who you are, if you have another connection, and decide if they want to connect with you on social media. So this is kind of the cold market category. The next one really is your warm market category. And these are people that you're interacting with on social media. They're people that follow your account. They like your account. Maybe they're interacting with you in your stories or your polls. Maybe you have a little side conversation going. They're people that you're building more of a relationship with. You're speaking to them and connecting with them, kind of developing more of a relationship with them. So that would be considered your warm market. And then eventually your warm market is where your customer base is going to come from. So these are the people that have decided to give your products a try. They are probably in their first 30, 60, 90 days, and they're trying to decide if they want to keep going with this gut health thing. So this is really kind of that decision phase where they're deciding if what they're going to do, if they're going to stick this out. So you're going to want to be, having ways to continue to connect with them and make sure they have a good experience in that first 90 days. This is kind of where, like it says, this is kind of the decision phase, and you want to make sure that you're not making this a revolving door where you have to continually have new people come in and out. Of course, we want them to be happy customers and to keep going. So, but that is kind of the category of like the current new customers. And from there, you go into kind of your more loyal customers. So these are going to be more of the people that have been ordering from you for an extended period of time. They love their products. They are happy with their results, and they get excited about new things that come out. They love all the sales. They may even talk about it a little bit with family or friends, like they are like I love the word she used here. Just, they're your hype squad. They just love Plexus and they love you and everything's great. So this loyal customer base, though, that is where you have the potential then to have those people turn into more working team members. And that's kind of the last part of the pipeline. These people are the ones that have been happy product takers. They love their products and they are going to potentially start working the business. And I would say these aren't the people that just want to get their products covered. They're going to be the people that really have maybe some financial goals and business goals that they are working for. So they're not going to just be the casual sharers. They're going to be the people that really want to grow a business and grow an organization. So we're going to talk a little bit more about how to care for people in these different categories. And we're going to also talk about how to help transition people from one to the next as we go. And so I'm excited to share more of that with you guys in the coming weeks. We'll probably clump a few together just with how the month goes. But I love this because really it shows a healthy pipeline is going to help you have a steady flow of new and engaged followers on social media that are going to lead to those new conversations. And that's going to spill to the new customers and the loyal customers, and then eventually the working team members. And if this is flowing in a healthy way, then you're never really going to run out of people to talk to, of people to engage with, and to invite and lead. Sorry, I got a half sleeping baby that jumped out of bed. So I think this is great for us to keep in mind. It gives a healthy perspective. I'll be right there, Annie, okay? If you focus too heavily on one area or the other, then it can kind of throw off the whole balance of things, and it can kind of stop things from flowing through the pipeline. So I think it's important to recognize the value of and the importance of each area, because really you need all the areas to be healthy for you to have a successful business. So anyway, I think that is super. It's just your chat message. Annie is okay. She falls asleep really hard, you guys, because she's like dropping the nap, and then she wakes up totally disoriented like an hour after bedtime. And that's what's happening. It happens like multiple times a week. She is okay. Let's see. So I just think that is really important. The idea that to be caring for people and working at being intentional with people in each of these categories is important, and definitely a perspective shift, because I think it's easy for us where we have often a really high value on recruitment that like those other pieces of caring for our customers and making sure they're happy and communicating with them and connecting with them and asking them if they want to get their products covered. All of those things are important too. And I feel like sometimes they can get neglected. I know there are things that are easy for me to push to the side or to kind of say, oh, I can do that later, when really they're just as important as doing the other thing. So I love this picture. I love this idea, and I'm excited to explore this more with you. I think I did want to say this. I think that this is important for us to recognize. This pipeline is going to be great for people that kind of become those accidental business builders. This is not the only way you establish and create a healthy business and business builders. I think the other element that is important to include is that you need to intentionally go out and seek people that are looking for a business opportunity. And so that is not really what we're talking about with this pipeline. That I would say the pipeline and then also recruiting business builders, they're just two different hands. Like you need to be actively doing both for a healthy business and organization. So
Yeah. And I think she reminded us too, like when we're talking about recruiting, you're kind of just jumping the pipeline and entering straight into the team member phase. When we recruit just for the business, we're not moving them through that whole pipeline. We're going, all right, well, now you're a team member, and obviously we'll help them love their products and all of that stuff too, but they're just skipping kind of the like, well, maybe, and well, I do love this, environment. And I love, I mean, the main word, is intentionality. And I think we've talked about before, it's like, even on the days where I feel like I'm doing a lot, if I really sat down, even with, planning out all of our team stuff and making graphics for like, who knows what else and all of this stuff, do I have enough work with what I'm doing? Even if it was just 2 hours a day, right? Like for me, I work this full time. It's my full-time job. I don't have anything else other than like home and life. And so with what I'm just doing randomly, if I'm not being intentional in these areas, it makes sense that it's not really a full-time gig. And so where you get to it, when you treat it like a business and you're saying, I have work to do. It's not just, I posted on social media today a random post about X Factor Plus to throw something up there. It's like, I'm looking at my organization, and that means people in all avenues of the pipeline. And I am being a business owner, taking care of my cold market by marketing, taking care of my warm market by following up, taking care of my customers by checking in on them. I'm taking care of my happy customers by, offering to help them, earn some cash or whatever, giving them a prize. And Vanessa always had that thing, you like at 30, 60, and 90 days, send them a little something. I think that's so smart. And then moving people into that team member phase, as well as trying to grow your team from outside of your customer pipeline. If we're focusing on all of those things with intentionality, even if it's not all the things every day, even if you're splitting some of that up from your IPA sheet, because all that stuff is in there. If we look at the different sections of that, who am I helping go silver? Well, that's a room in your pipeline. The people that you're going to be helping go silver are your happy customers or people that you've just invited to do the business with you, right? Check-ins are going to be your current customer pipeline, all of your posting and stuff. So this pipeline is your activity. It's just, am I just checking things off, or am I seeing this as this is how I do my job? Taking care of people along the way is how I'm going to get people started. It's how I'm going to keep people going. And it's how I'm going to grow my team and have more team members sharing, by taking care of people in these different ways at these different things. All right, so let's hop off of here, but I want you to go and print out or screenshot, if you've got a cool way that you're going to do it online or whatever, get your notebook out, the weekly accountability sheet. Go ahead and get that on your desk. Let's start talking about it. And our friends that were not on tonight, we're going to share that in to the threads and stuff, but have it out so that as you're doing things, you can be saying, oh, I'm already doing this. And maybe it's going to be a trigger to get that activity rolling this week. We have 3 full weeks left, right? In the month. It's only the 12th right now. No, 13th. Is it the 13th? So, 2.5 weeks, right? We got Thanksgiving and stuff, and there's still a lot of great things that are going to help you move your business forward, whether that's re-ranking, getting your 3 ads for the month, starting to get into intentional activity and build some healthy habits around your consistent activity, remember, everything that you do today is going to affect your business for the next 60 to 90 days and onward. So each day we have a choice to keep that train moving and to build on top of that mountain, that pyramid, or we run the risk of just playing catch up and starting over and running that hamster wheel. I don't want that for you guys. I don't want that for myself. Been there plenty of times over the last 8 years. It's just not as fun. So I hope that this kind of thought process and these habits that will help each other create doing will be helpful as we really move forward and intentionally work to grow our businesses, especially as we enter into the new year. All right. I love you guys. Have a good night. And don't forget to check out that post that Josie made about the event Thursday, because you are going to want to spend the next couple of days sharing about that for sure. See y'all later.